Hello, welcome to week 2 of the Snap UK Predictions Pod. Which is, of course, actually translates to week 11 of the NFL season. But yeah, we started late, just as a
fashionably late. Fashionably late.
We're just testing to see whether this we can actually do this. We're still in lockdown over here, so we're recording this via Zoom this week. We hope to be able to meet some point before the Super Bowl, hopefully, but who knows. But important facts and figures first. From week 1, we have someone well out in front already. Probably from his smug smile, you can tell. It's 4th and Inches. 4th and Inches is at 13-1. Me and Griff both sit very lamely at 9-5. So we may already be in a position where we have to start taking risks. But it's fine. Let's see how this week goes. If it's beginner's luck, we are going to bring in some randoms at some point just to test whether we're just bad at NFL podcast level or just bad on a general level at predicting. But yeah, of course, this is recorded on a Friday, so that this week because I wasn't around last night, so apologies. But it does mean we missed Arizona, Seattle, which I'm glad.
I picked Seattle, just saying.
I picked Seattle by a score, so I'm quite pleased with that.
I said it'd be a pick 6.
Well, I also predicted Seattle, but as long as you don't listen to the podcast on Tuesday, well, I definitely predicted Arizona.
Garyzona.
Okay. But anyway, so Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time. First game is Bengals at football team.
That doesn't ever stop being funny.
No. Cincinnati at Washington. Who you got? Who wants to go first on this one?
So I think the winner will be the game of football itself.
Okay.
In all seriousness, I'm going the Bengals. I think the Bengals are on upswing. The team formerly known as the Washington Redskins are just...
Who just call them Washington?
Okay.
Yeah. I like the controversy.
So the Washington controversy. Who will submit it?
So I'm going with Cincinnati, and because I feel they're a team that's on an upswing, they've got some confidence. They know they're not going to the playoffs. Their division is too strong. But they're a team that's building confidence. I just don't see that confidence in Washington. It pretty much just seemed to be, we've got Chase Young, and there's 52 other guys here as well.
I'm actually going to pick the football team. Let's
see how it is.
Because I think I don't know. I just see Scary Terry scoring a couple of touchdowns, and I think that will be enough. But and Logan Thomas as well, the tight end's on a good streak. I'm gonna predict a slight football team win.
All right. Well, it doesn't bode well after last week's disaster, but I am also picking football team. So 1-0 to Paul. But I'm picking football team based on what the Bengals don't have. Because I now think the football team are the best they can be with the squad they've got. And the Bengals are still missing Joe Mixon. He's not practiced again. Bernard has not done much in the last couple of games. He did start off fairly well as replacement. T. Higgins is struggling. So that's a possible omission for the weekend. AJ Green has had one good game all season. The O-line still isn't good, so Chase Young is twice as valuable in that situation. I'll take football team by 3.
Cool. So, we'll move on to the next one. Falcons at Saints. we just got the news, literally, as we started this, that Drew Brees has gone on to IR, which, after a collapsed lung seems perfectly fine with me. The news that seems to be coming out is Taysom Hill is going to be quarterback. Is this going to be enough to unsettle what's been a pretty decent Saints team all year? I'm going to say no.
Yes. No.
I agree with Michael. I believe this is a Falcons team that now they've unearthed themselves of the shackles of terrible Dan Quinn, his Super Bowl winning previous defense, and his championship winning team. They've won 2 on the bounce. This is a Saints team that's an unknown quantity. They're having to. You think about it. They've had Drew Brees under centre and been planning to have Drew Brees under centre for a long time. When he did his finger in last season, when he hurt his finger last season, they weren't the same team. And I think this is a Falcons team that's building confidence. I'm going the Falcons, and I think the Falcons are going to win by 7 points or more.
Ooh, a big win. I don't think it'll be a big slump for the Saints, but we've never seen Taysom Hill as a starting quarterback, and I'd like to see it for a game before I'm prepared to back it. I think he's a fantastic player, but I don't know if I'd want him starting under centre. He's been compared to Steve Young in the past, so if he plays Steve Young football, they might win. But this Falcon team's on the upswing, and the Saints team is about to stagnate, I think. So, especially as well, we've just been discussing beforehand, Kamara is apparently struggling with an injury. Now, he's saying he's going to play, but whether or not he plays the whole game, that makes a big difference. You've taken out possibly their 2 biggest pieces. So I'll go Falcons. I'm not as confident as Paul, but I'll take a 3 to 6 point victory for the Falcons.
I'm going to say the Saints just have enough. Just with a quarterback that they've seen bits of, but not enough probably to get him on tape. So, but there you go. Now on to an easy one. Steelers at Jaguars.
This doesn't take much then. Should we just jump in? Steelers?
Steelers. Yep. Okay. Patriots at Texans.
Patriots comfortably.
No, yeah.
I don't know about comfortably, but the Texans are giving up the most rushing yards, and it's the Patriots team averaging the most rushing yards that they've needed in 20 years. So I'll say the Patriots are going to win. I think Cam is finally over the COVID thing. I think that was a bigger hit than they were prepared to admit. But we only have 1 receiving touchdown through 9 games. Bear that in mind, because the Texans are bad at defending receivers, but we don't have any. So if they can box against the run, it could be more close. But I feel the Patriots should win this and finally get to 500 on the season.
Cool.
Could you imagine as a Giants fan, your team being 500, John?
Sometimes it happens after game 2. If we've played Washington within the first 2 games, but no, generally no. I'm going to say the Pats. But yeah, not. I just don't think the Texans are very good. I think Romeo Crennel getting the job, which is muted, I think would be a backward step for the Texans. Yeah. Okay. Eagles at Browns.
Carson Wentz is not playing well. He's got 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, there or thereabouts. I believe that's about right. And I think there's a disconnect between the quarterback and the coach and the team. Because I don't think the team particularly like the quarterback. I don't think the quarterback particularly likes the coach. And I don't think the coach knows what to do. I haven't picked the Eagles once all season now. What have they won? 2 games?
3.
And 3 games, right? So clearly they're doing better than I think they should do, but they've got so little going for them. And I don't like to pick the Browns ever, but if this Browns team can't overcome what is a putrid Eagles squad, then they don't deserve to be in the conversation where we've had them saying that they could be in the playoffs, even in a really tough division. So I'll take the Browns, and it should be comfortable. It should be comfortable.
So, if I was to say this was the Eagles against the Ravens, who would you pick every time?
The Ravens.
The Browns have the same record as the Ravens.
Exactly.
All day.
Same. Browns. If the Eagles can't beat the Giants, then you've got a much better offense, a much better defense coming to town.
I will say this: the Browns may not have Myles Garrett. He went on the COVID list today.
Yes, I still think there's enough there.
But also, that is a revolving door of an O-line.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All gone for the Browns there. Lions at Panthers.
That's a really hard game to place.
It is.
Does it not just depend on whether Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Stafford are actually playing?
Yeah.
Oh, if Stafford's not playing, you would never go for the Lions.
Yeah, but Bridgewater might not play either.
Yeah, Bridgewater's got a knee injury.
Who is the backup at the Panthers?
PJ Walker.
What about Will Greer, the man I once drafted?
Well,
in the top 10
also
players?
Will Greer. So they haven't named a starter because Bridgewater might not play and Matt Rule doesn't have to name a starter till Sunday. The Lions are saying that Matt Stafford's going to play, but he has a partially torn ligament in his thumb. So this could be a battle of the backups all the way, and there's nothing then to split these teams. I'm going to take it on face value and say it's Stafford against Bridgewater. I'll take the Lions by 3. But I don't feel confident about it. I just think the Panthers are on a slide. They've lost 5 in a row. No CMC either.
Yeah. I am going to. Yeah, it's really hard because.
You haven't actually committed to anything yet, John.
No, I just don't know. If it was at full strength, I would say the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not, and I don't know, so I'm still going to pick the Panthers. No, fuck it, I'm going to pick the Lions. Picking the Lions.
You must be uncomfortable on that fence sometimes.
Yeah. What did you go for, Paul? Sorry?
I'm going for the Lions.
The
Panthers don't have Bridgewater, PJ Walker looks fantastic in the AAF.
Yeah.
But not much else that's come out of the AAF has really looked fantastic. And he looked dreadful when he came in to relieve Bridgewater.
Yeah, fair enough.
No one wants that job.
Okay,
I think also, with the Lions, to give a little bit of extra context and rationale on this, if the Lions were in another division, they would look better.
Yeah, I mean, for the Lions, they've done enough to keep Matt Patricia's job for next year now. They're
if they were 4-5 in the NFC East, they'd be in the playoffs.
I think they're finally getting good production out of DeAndre Swift, which is key. Yeah. And they're playing well without Kenny Golladay, which is key.
Yeah.
Because when he comes back, he immediately elevates a team that's already playing well. So those things really should carry them beyond, but it depends on Matt Stafford playing.
Yeah, true. Although, yeah, I will say with DeAndre Swift, you know, they've gone for committee for 2. They went far too long with committee. They should have picked their running back and, you know, finally.
Don't forget, he dropped the game-winning touchdown in week 1, and I think it hit their confidence in him hard.
Yeah.
So they spent 6 weeks not knowing what to do, and now they've gone back to where they started from, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. Last of the early games, Titans at Ravens.
I think this is one of the hardest games to pick this week.
Very much so.
Over to Paul.
So I am going to go with the Titans.
I'm also going to go with the Titans.
And I also went with the Titans. So,
Well, then I know I've made a mistake.
well, this is the problem. Initially, I thought Ravens, but I think Vrabel is able to pick Lamar Jackson apart. And Derrick Henry is due a big game. He's had been quiet for a couple of weeks, and his quiet numbers are still great. But I don't like the backfield committee for the Ravens. I do like what Derrick Henry brings to the table. So in what is essentially a coin flip game, at the moment, I'm prepared to take Vrabel and Henry over anything the Ravens can throw on the field.
Yeah,
I think also the Titans at home are 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
I feel this is the Titans winning at home. Not comfortably. This is still a
really
very
good
good Ravens team. But yeah, I see that. I just like I felt with the Colts last week. Just something in my waters tells me that the Titans will win this one.
I thought you had that down.
It turned out to be some sort of yeast infection, actually.
Doctor, I keep predicting NFL games.
Did he ask to look at your odd-shaped balls?
Yeah. Okay.
No, they banned after that.
You're probably not going to talk about them anymore, do you? Right, go on.
Moving on to the 9:00 games. So, Jets at Chargers.
Come on, everybody. The Chargers are getting another win, right?
Rap, isn't it?
I mean, no, it's going to be a great game.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
This is the Herbert 5-touchdown blitz where he just goes rampant and rips the Jets apart. We're cheering for 0-16 here, right? Like we did with the Browns.
I think we really need the dog shit Jets to come true, and I think this is the year that they go beyond the dog shit that they ever once promised to be. This is pure toilet, and I think I'm gonna say Herbert, not a fan of the haircut, but I think due for a big game this week.
You have to go the Chargers. The Jets have gone from Todd Bowles to Toilet Bowl.
There's no Darnold again either, is there? It's Flacco again.
Well, yeah, they're going to be taking some flack from that Chargers D-line.
He did all right against the Pats, Flacco.
Everybody does all right against the Pats.
I'm just saying.
We've got no pass rush. So for a quarterback who can't move, that's a great thing. But the Chargers have a pass rush.
Yeah.
He can't move. He's like a statue.
There's that Joey Bosa fella who I hear is quite good.
Yeah. Oh, Ingram as well. You know, they could really do him a mischief. Yeah. Chargers.
Mischief.
Well, you know, I started this one by just mentioning dog shit. So I thought I'm going to stop swearing.
Stop swearing and rein it in. Quick,
Yeah.
what would my mum say?
By going, yeah. Okay. Dolphins at Broncos in a humdinger.
This game's going to be real neat, John. I tell you that.
I'm going Dolphins because the Broncos suck.
Go on, Paul. Give me a reason to like the Broncos because I think Drew Lock can't unpick this defense, which is getting better and better every week.
It is getting better and better every week. Just people have been too quick to rule out the Broncos. So if you look at the individual elements of that team, there's still some very good individual elements.
Go on.
Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, no, I mean, this is
Judge
the bit where you normally go, so I'm taking the Dolphins.
No, I think there's a confidence that's coming with this Chua fella. I was going to say his surname, but I couldn't even think of how to pronounce it in my head, let alone it actually work its way out of my mouth.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Bless you.
If I can say it, Paul, anyone can say it.
John, we had to teach you how to say it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you can say that, but you'll still call the Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrows.
And Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
I think, yeah, I mean, I don't think the Dolphins will win this by much, but the Dolphins will win. Yeah. It's, the Broncos are still a good team.
the Broncos had a running offense, I'd be fine. But Gordon, they've not really trusted Gordon seemingly last few weeks since his DUI arrest. And then they haven't really got Philip Lindsay going either. They're just no Cortland Sutton. Dolphins will be easily shut that offense down.
Do you not think that this would have been great to see John trying to call a game between Tua Tagovailoa and Albert Okwuegbunam, who was playing at tight end for the Broncos until he got injured last week? I'm very disappointed that Albert O is ruled out for the rest of the season.
It would have been like watching that Ghanaian presenter go through the English football teams.
That was amazing.
Have you seen him pronounce Borussia Mönchengladbach? It's brilliant. He's a comedian, and he does it on purpose. But it doesn't distract from that. It's still brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we've already gone past Atlanta then and Zacharias.
That is also a good name.
But yeah, Denver just to me a team already packed up for the season.
Do you know, and we must move on because this is not supposed to be a long show. Drew Lock looks like a capable backup. It doesn't look like anybody's franchise quarterback to me.
Not yet.
I think you can. He's in the Bortles category. Occasionally he's going to look good because he'll just take chances, and it will pay off in a string at some point. But other than that, you know what is there. And after, what's he started now? 10, 12 games, something like that? You know he's not getting better. Yeah.
It's hard because there's nothing for him at the moment. So it's hard. And he's getting no help from the running offense. So
No. When you say there's nothing there for him, he has a first-round tight end, a first-round wideout. He ain't got nothing.
Well, so there you go. He's got two players. He's missing Sutton. He really misses Sutton.
And that other first-round receiver.
Yeah. Judy.
Yeah.
It was the first round.
Colin Sutton.
Yeah, you call him Sutton. Yeah, I think it's hard to judge Drew Lock on this year because actually I thought he started the season all right. This is longer than I had planned to discuss the Broncos, as you say.
Well,
but yeah,
he's got 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions this season, and he just reminds me of Blake Bortles. That is what he looks like to me.
Yeah, I can agree. And I know I being a Jones fan, I see a lot of quarterbacks that remind me of Bortles, and it upsets me. Okay. Dallas at Minnesota.
And it's another quick one, I think, here. I'll be surprised if anyone's not taking the Vikings.
I'm picking Dalvin Cook to win it on his own. Yep.
I don't even think they need a quarterback.
No. Literally, wildcat to Cook. Just put an extra blocker in. Why not?
So occasionally they could wildcat it to CJ Ham and just watch him run wild. It'd be amazing.
One that I enjoy doing is pounding ham.
So I'm guessing you won with the Vikings, Paul.
Oh. Pound that ham.
And
I have nothing to say that you can actually put on this podcast.
No. Just leave it there. Packers at Colts. I think this is a really tough one. Really tough one.
If Ham played for the Packers, I couldn't do podcasts about the NFL.
Okay, I'll go first. I think narrowly I'll take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The Colts defense has been good, but maybe slightly overplayed. I did say Devontae Adams has got an injury designation, but I believe he's supposed to be fit to play.
Yeah.
If he plays, I think the Packers win. It should be tight, but which quarterback's more likely to get their team into a losing position?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I think the Packers' defense is good enough that
the Colts don't have a run game. Can Can we just
Well,
acknowledge
they're
how important?
very good. They're someone who did really well last week in fantasy.
But he's a catcher.
Yeah.
He's a catching back.
Yeah.
All his touchdowns are the same. He takes a slant pass and runs into the edge.
But
And
Can we just acknowledge how important Marlon Mack is in his absence?
yeah,
Because I think this Colts team would be nearly perfect with him in the team. So I'll take the Packers.
oh,
It's at Lambeau.
Yeah.
it's at Indiana.
Oh, is it? I thought it was in Lambeau.
Packers at
Even so,
Indiana.
I don't think it makes enough of a difference, especially not. There's no crowd. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, as you say.
My apologies. Yeah, it's at Lucas Oil. Do you know what? I'm going to go the Colts then. So let's be a contrarian. I will be that guy on this podcast.
You're changing your mind based entirely on where the game is being played.
Yes.
I want to mock you, but you won so easily over
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
I like the Colts. I don't like their quarterback, and I've had many an impassioned argument about that. But I also feel there's a lot of great individual pieces, and if you've got Devontae Adams at 75%, he's still great. But you've got an amazing defense at the Colts, playing at home, building a bit of confidence, especially after last week. They were really good, and that's a team that you two both thought were going to beat them comfortably.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Colts again. If it's at Lucas Oil.
I agreed on the Colts. I fucked up everywhere else on the predictions.
I definitely took the Titans and definitely got it wrong.
But yeah, I think the Packers. But I think it will be incredibly tight.
I think the Colts will win by at least a score.
Wow. Okay. A Monday night game for us in the UK, but the late game in the US. Kansas at Las Vegas Raiders.
Kansas, all day.
Las Vegas won the first game between them. And actually, I think the score was quite tight, but I think it flattered Kansas City at some points. So it might not be as cut and dry as you say, because they've been all right. The Raiders.
They've been better than all right. John, pick one.
Oh, I'm going to pick the Raiders.
Well, I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
I agree with everything you've said. Derek Carr has been exemplary this season. I think he's only thrown 2 interceptions, and he's got like 15 touchdowns. Like they're fine. I don't think the Raiders are good enough to beat this Chiefs team twice. They've surprised them, but Andy Reid, I can't see not game planning a different outcome. I just don't see it.
I mean, also, you saw what Mahomes did in the last game he played, where he threw in movement, which is, he snapped in movement. God knows what he's going to do when he's had a week more to think about it. I'm terrified at the thought of it. Chiefs all day.
Okay, well, I'm going with Raiders. I think it'll be tight. Maybe even
it will not be tight in the slightest.
Well, Paul's gone Billy Big Bollocks today, hasn't he?
There are so many jokes.
Okay, final game. Rams at Bucks on Monday Night Football. Rams at Bucks. Paul, I'll let you go first on this one.
I actually, this is the lock I put in on the podcast. I think the Rams, and you know why? Because the Bucks have great. The Bucks are good. The Bucks are doing as well as we thought they were going to be doing. But I can see that Rams defense destroying them. You have great wideouts, but Godwin's still not fit, is he?
Nope.
Evans disappears then in the game because you've got the best shutdown corner going at the Rams.
That is true.
You've got and also you've got this constant pressure, and as good as you've got some players and you've got a team in the Rams who really want to take down Tom Brady.
I've gone with the Rams just because I can see the defensive line getting to Brady. And I think if you can, it was just say you get to Brady, you can stop this Bucs team. He is the brains, like more than any other quarterback on any other team. He is the brains of this team, and I can see them. I can see the D-line getting to him. But I don't think.
If you imagine the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Tom Brady is the stomach of Krang.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is that a niche enough reference for you?
Yeah, that'll do.
I'm gonna oppose the two of you, even though I know it just ends badly. Just on the basis that I think the two teams are fairly evenly matched. I think the Bucs defense is good. The Rams defense is clearly good. The Rams have a slightly better defense, but a far worse O-line. No Andrew Whitworth. And I think it's one of these games where it comes down to, and also, the receiving core and running backs fairly evenly matched, I would say. If it comes down to quarterbacks, I will pick Brady every day of the week over Jared Goff. Every day of the week. That's fair. I entirely understand. And if Aaron Donald comes through the gut and hits Brady 3 or 4 times, you will win this argument, hands down. But looking at them on paper, they are so evenly matched. You've got to take the 48-time Super Bowl winning champion over the man who shat the bed in the Super Bowl.
True. Well, there you go. That's our picks for this week. Of course, which means the teams in the bye are San Francisco, New York Giants, Chicago Bears, and Buffalo Bills.
Are the Jets not on a bye every week? I mean, it feels like they don't turn up.
I'm about to say, at least Allen Robinson just gets a week off from running downfield and being overthrown by other random people.
Who's the worst coach, Adam Gase or Hugh Jackson?
Adam Gase, because Hugh Jackson had a bad hand.
I agree with you, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. But
I think you have to say, like, no one came in and said, at any point has anyone said, Hugh Jackson is a whatever mastermind. And that's what people were saying about Adam Gase. And he's just like, could anything be further from the truth?
Yeah, I mean, it's Hugh Jackson at no point got until the year he went, he didn't have a proper top of the draft quarterback and a generational running back.
No. Well, he had...
Agreed.
Yeah. But I think that, we can take this forward another time. But that's it for this week. We'll come back next week. We'll tally up our results and see how much further ahead Paul is.
Shocker, I'm losing.
I mean, that's it. It's now a fight to avoid potentially having a punishment at the end of the season for me and Griff. But yeah, so until then, thanks for joining, thanks for listening, watching, and we'll see you soon.